After over a week of poor weather conditions, the sun is shining in Nevada, and Will Bosi is back on Return of the Sleepwalker. He continues to blow our minds with rapid progress and a new high point. Over in Colorado, Daniel Woods delivers a new first ascent, proposing 8C Plus or V16. And there are a few other ongoing projects to keep on your radar from the likes of Sharma and Jorge Díaz-Rullo. Welcome to August Climbing. My name is August. I always love hearing from you in the comments. As an example, here's a recent one from user - lots of letters and numbers. Finding out August is your actual name makes so much more sense now. Yes, so thankfully I'm not restricted to only climbing in the month of August. And shout out to Adam, who commented on last week's video and offered some really helpful context to Sean Bailey's first ascent of Evolution. Adam visited this boulder back in 2022 and had some firsthand insight to share with us. Seriously, much appreciated. And several of you offered positive feedback on the format of multiple stories in a single video, so we're going with that same format today. So now let's jump in with fresh updates from Will Bosi, and of course you can check out last week's video for more background. From February 12th, Will writes, "Back on Return of the Sleepwalker. After a long break, it felt really good to still be moving fairly well on this beast. Progress is really good still, so hopefully I'll be on red points soon." Stefano Ghisolfi shows up in the comments and seems to think this is all well and good, but he'd really like to see the finger lock that Will previously talked about. But all joking aside, it's great to see Will back on his project after a bout of bad weather. Will provides additional context in his broadcast channel saying, "I had a surprising good session, almost managing to stick the sloper from 4 moves in. I also was able to stick the pinch before the sloper move from the start." So no new high point from Will in this session, but he's showing a huge amount of consistency, getting that pinch from the ground like he did in a previous session. Then from February 14th, huge progress on Return of the Sleepwalker. Last session, I fell 3 times on this move from the start in a row and did a bigger top half link. Ready for red point sessions now. Wow. So we've got an exciting new high point here from Will, getting from the ground to the sloper. This would be impressive in itself, but then you throw in that he did it 3 times in a row. It is entirely possible that we will soon be reporting on a successful send and first repeat of Return of the Sleepwalker. Will shared a little bit more about this session in his broadcast channel, saying, "I then ended the session by doing Sleepwalker Plus, which is a harder version of Sleepwalker where you start on lower holds from the sit, but the first move goes to the same hold as the stand would." So it's a bit confusing how this is worded, but my understanding is that Will Bosi essentially sent Sleepwalker, the stand start again, but from 1 or 2 moves lower than the official starting holds, thus the Sleepwalker Plus designation. I don't imagine there is good cell service out here, but wow, would it be exciting if Will Bosi did some live streams now, especially since he's saying he's ready for red point sessions where he'll be making those solid attempts from the ground. Stay tuned, folks. Next up is a bouldering first ascent in Colorado from American climber and legendary boulderer Daniel Woods. On February 12th, Woods shares on Instagram, "Adrenaline first ascent proposed 8C Plus / V16. What a painful ride with this one. Stellar line and rock though. Was difficult to get into a rhythm with it. Had to have skin and conditions line up to properly stick and execute the moves. I think low end 16, but it's a tricky one to grade." So there you go. Just a casual low end 16 from Daniel Woods. He gave more context about this climb from last month when he shared that he was grinding away on this roof project in Colorado and that he had first started trying it back in January of 2023. At that time, Daniel wrote, "The crux revolves around a flared slot hold which you have to ring lock and lock off to a right hand, rounded quarter pad vertical edge. The lock is super painful and consistently bruises my left index finger. It only feels secure when my fingers are numb and I can't feel it." Yikes, that sounds painful, and I wonder if this will scare away any potential future ascenders of this boulder problem. A huge congratulations to Daniel Woods on this send. Last week we talked about Stefano Ghisolfi's upcoming Excalibur film, and well, now it's out. Have you seen it? If not, you better go check it out. There's a really amazing section where Stefano breaks down the beta for every single move of this climb in great detail. Crimp Films did an amazing job capturing this, and as if you weren't already impressed enough by this first ascent, you'll be even more impressed after watching this film. And now for that moment where we rapid fire a few other things to keep on your radar. On February 12th, Chris Sharma shared In the Thick of It, sorting through the complexities of Blond, a line I envisioned over a decade ago, a great and oftentimes humbling experience, never say never, doing my best to keep the dream alive. For context, this is a long-standing, though not continuous project for Sharma. In 2017, he talked extensively with Climbing.com about Blond, noting that while he was projecting La Dura Dura, a 515C or 9B+, he kept looking over to the right and saw potential for another line. At that time, he noted Blond as a possible 515C or even 515D, which would put it at the very top of sport climbing grades. So suffice to say that Sleeping Lion may not be the last hard route that we see from Chris Sharma. Speaking of Sleeping Lion, that brings us to Jorge Díaz-Rullo, who on February 14th shared an update. Sleeping Lion, last move, back on route for a couple of days. I can only say that falling 3 times in that last hard move has given me even more energy to come back stronger and more eager to give my best until I finish this project. Hopefully Jorge will soon become the 3rd climber to ascend Sleeping Lion, following Chris Sharma's first ascent and Alex Migos' recent first repeat. It would be especially interesting to hear his thoughts on the grade, as Migos suggested 9B, not 9B+, but said very happy to hear what other repeaters will say in the future. Also of note from Díaz-Rullo from February 9th, Café Colombia, day 125. Yesterday I tried again my hardest, most demanding, and most intimidating project. I don't know if I am in a shaped state to do this route. That's why it's a moment of reflection before deciding whether to try it or not this season. 125 days, that is dedication. This sport climbing project from Catalonia, Spain, may one day prove to be one of the world's hardest climbs, perhaps even a 515D or 9C. By the way, as much as I scour the depths of the internet to bring you the best climbing news, well, I'm only human after all. So if you're ever wondering, why didn't August talk about blank, or I really wish August would cover this, then be sure to let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to cover that in a future video. Your help is very much appreciated. And hey, my name is August. Thank you so much for watching today.